Hey everyone, it's Jane McLeod, live in Fans of the Framework. I have this beautiful lady sitting next to me. We are here in a gorgeous, it's really a patient.
It's a sunroom.
It's a sunroom.
Visitor's lounge.
Yep, in their special care unit at the Richland Center, or the Richland Hospital in Richland Center, Wisconsin. So where I'm here doing a partner visit. So I have Miss Courtney Kloehn with me, and let me tell you, Sue and Chris and Rita and I, all of us at Capstone who have been involved on the Richland journey, have always been so impressed with Courtney. First, as a leader, she is a leader of 3 other amazing employees, and also as an administrative assistant, as well as a team leader. She leads the Eagles team, which is the employee experience team, co-leads with her HR leader. So very, very impressive. One of the very most impressive things about her it's noticeable in every interaction that you have with her, besides her obvious professionalism and great personality that you're going to find out here about shortly, is her organizational skills. So let me tell you why that's important to you now. Okay, part of a partnership with Capstone Leadership Solutions is that we recommend, or we require, our partners do quarterly leadership trainings. And in the quarterly leadership trainings, how do you know what leaders want to know, what leaders need to know to be able to do their jobs more effectively and to be more outward thinking and strategic thinkers? Well, we do that by doing a biannual leadership needs assessment, if you will. And the number one thing for every leader on that leadership needs assessment has always been, no matter where we are, what kind of partner it is, what kind of organization it is time, priority, and energy management. That's always been the number one thing. So we teach time, priority, energy management a lot. We encourage our partners to find champions on this topic. Well, lucky for the Richland Center Hospital, they have a champion. So what we also see happens with leaders as far as their time, priority, energy management, and you've probably seen this, we saw it today when we met with leaders, is leaders blame the whirlwind. I got sucked in by the whirlwind. I couldn't get this important thing done. Well, what if you're your own whirlwind, right? There are those people, and I used to be one of them as a leader, that, I found myself, potentially creating fires so I could put them out, or maybe I love patient care so much that I would just involve myself in it. So I was my own whirlwind. So even if you're not that leader, even if you think you do an okay job of time, priority, energy management, you can still learn from the best. So I was so excited to invite Courtney late last night. She's quite a good sport, this girl, to join me on Facebook Live today. And she immediately answered, heck yeah, I would love to. So drum roll, please. The top 5 tips from Courtney. Take it away.
Thank you, Jane. So I have been in healthcare for 14 years, and early on in my career, I realized in healthcare, I had to get organized, or the whirlwind was just going to carry me away throughout the week. So I have 5 tips that I practice religiously to make sure that my week stays somewhat under control. So the first tip being, I plan out my week at the start of my week. So I have a weekly planner. I take a look at my Outlook calendar this week. I take a look at next week so that I can start to begin to be prepared for what's coming in the near future. And I line that out in my planner. Now, I know what you're thinking. It's healthcare. Things are going to come up that we can't anticipate, and absolutely they are. But if you have a vision at the start of your week for what the desired week would look like, you can better respond to those whirlwinds as they kick up. So that's literally how I spend the first 15 minutes of every week. Tip number 2 would be to establish your top 3 to 5 non-negotiables. So of all the priorities you have in the week, what are those 3 to 5 things that have to get done before you leave for the week? That way, when the whirlwind kicks up, and it's just going to happen, you're able to get back to your prioritized list and recognize, okay, so not everything's going to fit this week, but I still know my top 3 to 5 non-negotiables that are my priorities. The next thing I do, so tip number 3 is I identify my frogs at the top of the day. So Mark Twain says that if you eat a live frog every morning, nothing worse will happen to you the rest of the day. So that's what my crucial conversations are. That's what those tasks that weigh heavy on me are, because by not taking action, I'm actually putting up a mountain that just has an impact on the rest of the day. It makes it much harder to push through my general to-do list or those things that move my department forward if I have that crucial conversation sitting on my mind. So every morning I take a look at what's on my list and I eat my frog right away in the morning. The 4th thing I do is I use sacred time. In our organization here at Richland Hospital, we're on a soaring to excellence journey. So it's called soaring time. That is time that's uninterrupted. So in our sacred time, we literally work on tactics and initiatives that move the goals and objectives of our department, of the organization forward. And it's really important because 1 hour of sacred time can be much more productive than 3 hours of interrupted time. So that we hang a sign on our doors, we shut the door, and it really is a respected time in our organization to just be able to move the department forward. And then number 5 would be to identify a time and project management system that works for you. So I have a split system. Mine is partially on paper, which is my weekly planner. And then I utilize the program called a Meister Task, which allows me to upload documents, track timelines, work collaboratively with team members. So that really works well for me. But maybe you prefer Microsoft products and want to use Outlook Task Manager or Outlook OneNote. Whatever works for you, find that system, and really the bulk of the work is on the front end. You know, just like when you start on a fitness journey, the bulk of the work is on the front end. It seems hard, but in the long end, it's really going to result in some great yields. And then lastly, when the whirlwind does kick up and your resiliency is really being tested, there's one thing that I do, one question I ask myself when that happens. What would great look like right now? If I'm taking care of myself, I am better able to care for my team. And sometimes great is simply grabbing a cup of coffee and getting some fresh air and taking 3 minutes to just regain my resiliency and reset my barometer so that I can go back and be the leader that I want to be for my department. So those are my top 5 tips and my one resiliency tip.
Oh yeah, very good.
Thank you.
So you explained what that power hour looks like at home, though. Explain the power hour.
I did. So at home, I use power hour as well. And what it is, so that's what I call my sacred time at home. I call it power hour. I have a 1 hour sand timer that I sit outside my home office. And my children know that if the sand is running in that timer, it best be an emergency to interrupt mom. So I just finished my bachelor's program. I'm about to start my master's program. That is how I get dedicated time into study. I use Power Hour to write blogs. It's just anything that will help move my personal goals forward. And my children really do respect that after all these years. I've been in school for a long time, so they've gotten used to it.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's
going to be a while longer.
Exactly. But it's a tool that you can use personally and professionally.
Sure. Absolutely. And look at her. Look at her. Holy crap. This is the weekly schedule, people. Okay. So it is pretty intense. Asana is a time priority, almost like a project management that we use at Capstone as well to communicate with each other. But, you know, apps like that are free and they're everywhere. So Meister Task. MEISTER. Task.
Okay. And it's another free platform. So again, I think the moral of this is whatever works for you.
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
Find something that works for you. It's out there.
Yep, absolutely. So call to action, right? What do your leaders need and want to be able to do their jobs more effectively, to become more outward thinking and strategic leaders? What is it? How can you provide it for them? So if you would like to hear about our leadership needs assessment, we're glad to talk to you about it. Go to our website, www.capstoneleadership.net. And there's a little button you click, and get a phone call with Sue or Jane. So we'd love to hear from you. Thank you so much.
You're most welcome.
Yeah, talented young lady. We're lucky to have her. Thanks. Have a great day, guys.